And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, today's thunderstorm outlook here along the mid and upper Yukon River Valley eastward over toward the border and down into the White Mountains here around Fairbanks, and also a couple isolated strikes showing up here over the western Brooks Range area. And then the outlook for tomorrow, kind of retreating back here as conditions stabilize ahead of the next system moving in. So we're still looking at some isolated thunderstorms here either side of the Yukon Flats there, Porcupine River, down in toward the White Mountains there just north of Fairbanks. And for fire danger, the forecast for tomorrow, still extreme here in the Yukon Flats and a ways out toward the Koyukuk Valley there with high to very high fire danger all the way into, well, not quite as far west as it was yesterday with incoming rain to the Seward Peninsula area. And high fire danger here for the Susitna Valley and a portion of the western Kenai Peninsula. Also a reduced area of fire danger, still on the high side there around Glen Allen, Copper Center, and Gulkana and those areas. And satellite imagery here showing low pressure spinning here right over the Alaska Peninsula, keeping clouds, showers, and some light rain from the eastern Aleutians into Bristol Bay and across portions of Kodiak Island, mostly to the south there. And this thing's sending a band of clouds up into south central Alaska today, the Kenai Peninsula. And that's why it got pretty cloudy this afternoon after a partly sunny start to the day with actually a few showers embedded in that cloud band there. And that extends along the North Gulf Coast down the Panhandle. Some pretty good clearing up here, well, actually in the northern interior areas. Had this band of clouds bringing showers into the Fairbanks area today, where they picked up about almost 0.4 of an inch of precipitation in the 12-hour period at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Showers down across the eastern Alaska Range area and some thunderstorms approaching Fort Yukon this afternoon. Otherwise, big storm out here over the Russian Far East. You can see quite vividly that cloud band pushing eastward there. In advance of that, clearing here over St. Lawrence Island into the Seward Peninsula, actually down to Nunivak Island. And on the chart here, there's that weak low near the Alaska Peninsula there with the precipitation associated with it. Again, cloudy skies, a few isolated scattered showers across southern Alaska here, and kind of a showery day for the southeast coast as well. And again, the thunderstorm activity developing over the eastern interior areas with some showers back to the west, and clear skies up there over the western Arctic coast, portions of the north slope down into the Bering Strait area in St. Lawrence Island down to about Nunivak Island, with the front now dragging into the western Aleutians here with some light rain and increase in the southwest winds out in that area. And for tonight, this front brings rain to the western Arctic coast, northwest coast. Look for some pretty gusty southwest winds or south winds coming into Cape Lisburne, even Point Hope there, with rain spreading down to about Kivalina, into the western Seward Peninsula, Bering Strait, St. Lawrence Island. Stays dry over much of the Bering Sea tonight, and then some rain out here over the far western Aleutians. And for the southeast coast, still kind of showery and mostly cloudy, as well as the east side here. And then for tomorrow, should be a generally dry day, at least in part here across all of southern Alaska. Still some scattered showers going on with cloudy skies over the southeast coast. Risk of a shower Kodiak Island. Rain possibly becoming heavy at times for the western Brooks Range there as this front moves eastward. And that'll spread over the Seward Peninsula and across the Arctic coast and North Slope. And a weak front out here brings some light rain, fog, and drizzle to the western Aleutians, otherwise high pressure, partly sunny skies, light winds, extensive clouds over all of the Bering Sea in toward Bristol Bay. And then for the outlook on Wednesday, this system edges eastward but stays well west-southwest of the southwest coast there. So partly to mostly sunny skies in store for the southern Panhandle with a risk of a shower to the north. Pretty good shot of rain with this front in across the Seward Peninsula from St. Lawrence Island, northern Yukon Delta, right into the central interior and up across the Yukon Flats there with showers following in behind. Partly sunny to maybe mostly sunny in some areas of southern Alaska here. And then for the potential 48-hour river flood potential outlook here, there's a significant rises in rivers here for the northwest part of the state to the Seward Peninsula. up across the NOAA Valley there in the western Brooks Range, with anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain expected to come into the Brooks Range there, with 1 to 2 inches elsewhere in these areas, and mostly high river levels due to snowmelt over the Copper River Basin, and that continues to go on over the northern panhandle. And then for the flood potential for 5 days, should put it about Saturday, there's a significant flooding possibility here from the greater Fairbanks area up into the Fort Yukon area, extending back to the west-northwest there, western central Brooks Range, Kotzebue, all of the Seward Peninsula, and getting into the at least a mid-Yukon River Valley again. Significant flooding is possible. And for the lows tonight, Arctic coast, east side in the 30s, west side in the 40s, and mostly in the 40s or mid to upper 50s here in the central interior, with lower 50s down to the south, 40s out along the coastal areas, 50s for the southeast coast. Highs tomorrow in the 60s for the panhandle, and mid to upper 70s here for the eastern interior areas. Cooling back into the 50s, 40s and 50s for the Seward Peninsula area. Could see some mid-70s there on the central north slope with that downsloping wind ahead of the front coming off the Brooks Range, with 60s all the way out to the Arctic coast there. And then for the lows the following morning, still about 55 to 60 central and eastern interior areas, a little cooler toward Eagle. 40s out toward the Bering Strait, upper 30s for the central Arctic coast, otherwise in the 40s everywhere else, except lower 50s for the southeast coast. Highs for the Wednesday afternoon period, 60s for the panhandle, and 60s south central Alaska, lower 70s Copper River Basin. Much cooler now with the clouds and precipitation coming in, 70s, 70 to 75 for the east side there. 70 down to Nikolai and McGrath, otherwise in the 60s, 50s for the Brooks Range, and 40s for the Arctic coast.